So let's get this Electrolux motor back together again. I did get out my wire brush and clean off some of the rust here in this particular bracket. That's looking a little better. And cleaned up the fan cover just a little bit more. And this piece here was somewhat rustier than what it is now. So made some improvements. So I had a choice. I had to go and figure out what kind of grease I was going to use for this machine, and there isn't a ball bearing that's in the bottom there. So I still decided to go ahead and go with this because I had such good luck with the with my older TriStar, and it's got the same type of non-ball bearing in here that I have with this one, and it's worked out really well. So that's greased like crazy. And unfortunately, as you saw in the first video, this is riveted. So there is a double metal-sided ball bearing in here. There's no way to get it out unless you go and drill out the rivets, and I may have to do that at some time in the future. But for right now, I'm just going to do what you see here, which might not make a whole lot of difference. But there was existing grease put on in the same manner from Electrolux. So at some point in time, I might have to drill that out and see if that might be like a 608 or whatever else it could possibly be. But this is what I'm actually going to do. So let's go ahead and get started with everything. Okay, initial run. It's kind of like a safety check. So, let's see what it sounds like. Well, it runs, but got a little sparking back there. Definitely have to clean the commutator. Let's see what it does again here. Right, that's a heck of a wind down, and I'm getting about 8.5 amps. So I've got to clean that commutator, and I'm pretty sure that's going to make that sound a lot better. So let me turn you around. All right, let's polish that commutator. Make sure I know which way this thing's spinning. Okay. All right, so there's a wind down. So let's see if we can't make that look better. Okay, that's probably about as good as I can get that. Because remember, the front bearing in here, I can't do anything with it. So that's just the front bearing plate. It's riveted, and it's a really old bearing. So I guess we're going to go ahead and just put it all back together, and maybe we'll do some suction and airflow tests. I almost had the motor back into the canister itself and was getting ready to put in the cord reel. And I had this happen, and I had that happen. And the two happenings are right here. So, 39 years old, whatever. I got 3 new ones, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean this connection up, because, well, why not? So, let's see, I'm gonna need some solder, I'm gonna need some wick, I'm gonna need a soldering iron, and you know, these helping hands come in very handy. So be right back. Well, it's a little better. I'm counting, I think, about 8 seconds. So it's a small improvement, but because I wasn't able to replace the one bearing in there, it's not going to be as good as what I was hoping for. But that's what it is. Can't win them all. Oh, almost. There we go. Ta-da. Several years ago, when I first got my GM 8901 anemometer, I did some airflow measurements with this particular machine. And using a perfect brand HEPA bag, which is in there right now, I got 104 CFM right here. Now I have a Vacuum America clean bag over here, which has, I think I measured a little bit less filtration with it. I mean, it wasn't quite as good as the perfect bag, but I wonder what type of airflow differences we will see overall with this machine. So what you didn't see off camera was I went and completely cleaned all the fans, dunked them, scrubbed them, ran a whole lot of water through them, and of course, dried them, put the motor all back together as you just saw. So let's see what kind of airflow we actually have. Now, I also have my current meter set up, and it seems to be that this motor really should be right around 1,000 total watts. So that's about 8.3 amps at 120 volts. So just to let everybody know, under load right now, I'm at 121 volts when I turn the machine on. So let's see what kind of airflow we get with the perfect HEPA bag in there. Will it be more than 104? Okay, my current meter peaked out at 8.30 amps, and anemometer is 4134. So guess what? We are at 108 CFM rounded. So I'm going to attribute that mostly to the cleaning of the fans. Now let me go ahead and switch the bags and see if the Vacuum America clean bag gives us a little more CFM. Oh, by the way, I take the little tabs off, makes a better seal. And we need to do a suction test too. So I'm happy about that. A little bit more CFM, but I think I'm going to attribute that to cleaner fans more than anything else. And away we go. Time is 4173, and a tiny bit more. Ooh, maybe something like 1 CFM, but we're almost to 110 CFM. So yeah, it's a definite improvement. But again, I think I'm going to attribute that to, frankly, cleaning out, well, just about 40 years worth of built up crud in the fans. All right, final thoughts and suction test. So off camera, I tested the suction at the end of this hose, and I did get 74 inches of lift. This is fairly easy to measure because it's a surface that mates pretty well with this. And all the mess that's in here, that is all the way around here, you tape it up as best you can. You try to get the best seal possible, and it's still a little hinky, I suppose. So let's see how much suction I can get right from here with my little adapter in there. And away we go. So I only saw 70, and the funny thing is here I get like 74. So obviously this isn't sealed as well as it could be, and I just don't really want to take the time to go nuts with this and try to seal it better. But yeah, this is doing about the same suction, at least at the end of the hose, that I measured a number of years ago. So I suppose if we were to sum up this Electrolux journey here, what I have definitely figured out is if you want to go and replace the bearing that's in that front bearing plate, you're going to have to go and drill out a couple of rivets. And I didn't want to spend the time to do that because I've got so many more machines that need bearings as well as other things. But when the existing bearing in here ends up failing and sounding much worse than it currently does, then I think this is probably a direct replacement. I can go ahead and put a new one in, but I'm going to have to drill that out and get some bolts in there. And I've seen other people do stuff like that for other machines. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.